My name is Christine DeCarlo, and I'm with the American Association of Colleges of Osteopathic Medicine, and I'm here today to talk with Wessley Square.
Hello.
Wessley is a fourth-year medical student at the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine and is AACOM's current Osteopathic Health Policy Intern, or OP. And today I'm going to ask Wessley a few questions about Ed to Med, his interest in advocacy, and his expectations for the internship. So Wessley, my first question for you is, before entering medical school, you worked as an emergency medical technician and studied political science. What initially attracted you to medicine, politics, and policymaking?
Thank you. The interest in medicine just sort of happened. I have 4 family members going back that they wanted to go into medicine and they ended up in other career paths. So when I ended up in the emergency room as a child with many allergies, broken bones, asthma, the standard stuff, they were all very involved and asked lots of questions. And I think that kind of planted a seed that I tested by becoming an EMT first. And when I really loved that, I applied to medical school. And now, hopefully in a few months, I'm matching emergency medicine. The interest in policy and politics, more straightforward. I think that they both just define so much of our lives and how we live. And they hold this promise that if you don't like it, you can change it. So if you have that opportunity and you don't take it, you kind of lose your right to complain. And then looking at the flip side, so many of our patients don't have that opportunity. They're too concerned with making rent or being worried that one car repair or accident is going to lead to financial ruin. You don't really have the same opportunity, and that certainly applied to my family not long ago. Mm-hmm. And now that I have this opportunity, I don't want to waste it. I plan on trying to address these concerns best I can. So much of what we treat, it can't be fixed with a scalpel or a prescription pad. The issues hit a lot harder to home.
Yeah, so making sure you're advocating for your patients as you advance through your career. So my second question, being both a medical student and passionate advocate requires hard work and commitment. How do you find time to balance these two priorities?
Yes, so obviously priorities matching in my specialty, so I have to prioritize boards and tests and all the standard stuff. But as any med student knows, eventually your eyes get heavy and you're going to fall asleep pretty soon if you don't mix it up a little. So for me, that was time for a quick bite, and then working with the Student Osteopathic Medical Association. Through SOMA, I found time to review resolutions or draft op-eds, letters to representatives, lots of different things to engage my brain differently and kind of rejuvenate myself.
So using advocacy when you need a study break.
Yes.
It's a good strategy. So my third question, in your OP application, you mentioned that the student voice is an important one with the power to make a difference. What advice would you give to student advocates when they face challenges and adversity?
First and foremost, just try it. As a student, we get very bogged down with, I'm just a student, no one's going to want to listen to me on this, or I don't know enough yet. And I think that gets very self-defeating. Some of these issues, they might not seem like student issues, but what they legislate today is going to affect what we practice in next year or in 4 years' time. And sometimes things like student debt, we're the best advocates because we have $200,000 or $500,000 in debt, and we're the ones who depend on Grad Plus or public service loan forgiveness. So those would really be the times where the student voice is the most valuable. And so when we're trying to make those changes, we just have to remember that we do have a legitimate platform, and if we ever need to boost that voice a little bit, if you can have a representative of your school, or if you're working for a national student group, those are great ways to amplify your voice. And then through working with SOMA, I found a lot of other organizations I could reach out to. I sent a lot of emails and a lot of invitations, and everyone was very welcoming of it. No one ever once said, "Who are you and how dare you contact us?" They're all very welcome for joining on a good cause.
That's great. Great advice. And the student voice is definitely a very important one, especially for the Ed to Med issues we deal with. So as someone who has held various leadership positions in the healthcare and higher education advocacy spheres, what advice would you give to passionate advocates who wish to also become leaders in the field?
The TLDR basically of my last answer, just try it. Just get out there. When I started, I had a few classes in high school and college that were focused on leadership, but mostly I just had a lot of enthusiasm, asked a lot of questions, and sought out ways to get involved.
Great, yes. So if you're out there, just advocate. So as an EntMed ambassador, you also work to educate and engage others on policy issues and advocacy opportunities. What leadership qualities, strategies, or techniques have you found to be most effective in sharing your knowledge with others and inspiring them to act?
Just being human, honestly. This can all seem very intimidating. If you come off pompous, it's not going to help anybody. We're all med students. We're tired, hungry, and worried that any mistake is going to cost us the specialty of our dreams. So just kind of keeping it human, and that's what I do even when I'm talking to licensed physicians or other important figures. One person talking to another, so if what I'm saying is not going to convince me, it's not going to convince the person I'm talking to either. And we just need to keep it really simple. Tactful humor, and food, obviously, a great lever to pull on there.
That's really good advice. Yeah, just keep it basic, keep it human. So my final question for you is, what do you hope to learn during your Osteopathic Health Policy Internship, and do you have any goals that you'd like to achieve?
So as most things, high goals and realistic expectations. I'd love to run into some national figure on the ball or the metro and engage, but realistically, I'd just be happy to hear important people talk about important things while learning skills I can apply to immediate advocacy efforts, but also future efforts. So I'll keep an eye on things like student loans and GME, but also keep an eye on things like physician reimbursements or insurance restructuring.
Great, so trying to gain some skills that you can then use throughout the course of your career.
Yes.
Well, Wessley, it's been a real pleasure to talk with you today, and if anyone out there is interested in becoming an Osteopathic Health Policy Intern, just like Wessley, AACOM is accepting applications now through January 24th. And if Wessley's inspired you to become an advocate, please consider joining our Ed2Med campaign at ed2med.com. Thank you.
Thank you.